and welcome to Red Sports. Day 2 has just ended of not only the India South Africa test, but I am here at the Empowerment Cup. The day 2 has ended here too. The difference, Empowerment Cup is the football that we are enjoying here. As far as cricket is concerned, India seems to have an uphill task with me. There is, of course, Debashish, who's having a bit of a network issue, which is understandable because he's doing it right from outside the Guwahati cricket stadium. And I have with me Bharat Ramra joining to analyze the entire day two's game. Bharat, I'll come to you straight up. 489 looks like India considered a little too much towards the end.
Yeah, if you look at the fact that South Africa were 257 or 247 for
I
6,
can't
then
hear you.
I'm speaking loudly. Can you hear me now? One second. Just
Can you listen to Bharat? Uh, Guys, there's some audio glitch. See if you can listen to me. Um, huh. There's some audio glitch because most of us are outside. There's some internet and audio glitch. We'll just fix it. Give us 2 minutes. Of course, by then, do comment. Do you think 489 is too much? Do you think India should have considered? Do you think India should have, packed up the lower order a little early? A fantastic century by Muthu Swami and then Marco Janssen with that 93. Unfortunately, getting out on 93. We have got Bharat back. Bharat, you can hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. I don't know whether you can hear me.
Just give me a second. Neil, can you hear Bharat? Because somehow I can't.
Hello?
Bharat, can you speak? Yes, can hear Bharat. Okay, they can hear you. Then I'll join back. Something is wrong at my end, maybe.
Yeah, I will just take on. See, when you consider the fact that South Africa were 247 for 6, and from there on, for them to get 489, definitely India would be disappointed with whatever happened. But I also have to add that maybe the conditions, when you consider the conditions, the pitch was a little too slow. That's what I felt because even when Ravindra Jadeja was bowling at some 95 kilometers per hour, the batters were able to play on the back foot and they were able to defend him. So that's what my viewpoint is. So we have Debashish back. What do you think about the day's play? Were you happy with the way India bowled, or they could have maybe done something different? Perhaps he has a problem or two. So anyway, I will continue with that. See, when you consider the Indian bowling, I'm not very sure to what exactly they could have done different in those conditions because the pitch was rather very slow, and maybe if I have to just criticize the Indian bowlers, they could have flighted the ball a little more. Maybe you are thinking of a bygone era when the likes of Prasanna, when the likes of Bedi or other spinners used to give it a little more air and try to beat the batsman in flight. I think that is kind of gone out of the window now with the way cricket is played on turners, uh, on tracks on tracks where the spinners try to ball at pace. So we have Trisha Gosal back. It's good to see you back. So I just was talking about how the Indian spinners could have done something different. If you want to add on those lines.
Yeah, Bharat, I completely agree with you. Also, not only spinners, I will actually take you back to the beginning of the day where I thought Jasprit Bumrah should have been given at least one or two more overs. And we have Debashish Sen with us. The internet is a little better, of course, as you can understand, he's at the stadium. So jammers are there, and automatically there's an internet issue. Devashish, do you want to chip in or do you want to take some more time because you're walking? I can see that, you know.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, the
The internet
internet
was
is
a
good
bit
here.
choppy, so started walking
Yes,
out. Yeah,
yes.
all right. Okay. So I would say, means, to start with, obviously India will have all the chasing to do now. Means clearly South Africa has put themselves in a very strong position to perhaps win the series from here. Means obviously, even if India goes on to win the test match, which at this point I would say 50-50, because chances of a draw looks most likely. Obviously, if India goes on to win this test match, that will be brilliant. We all want that for that to happen. But India will need to score at a brisk rate. Means obviously 489. They have to come to impose a result. They have to come anywhere close to that total. Means first, their primary objective will be to go get at least close to 489, and from there on they would rather think about taking a lead. But it means obviously they cannot start thinking of taking a lead, and means their initial target will be to go close to 489 first. Trisha.
Devanshish, I want to ask you one more question before I go to Bharat. You have seen the pitch, of course, because you're right there. After day two, would you say that there is wear and tear, or the pitch is still perfectly fine and good for batting on day three? Will day three will be the best day to bat?
Yeah, obviously today was one of the best day, and I reckon, as Bharat said, that the wicket was very slow. Trisha, for spinners to really come into play, I think that the wicket has been playing very slow. But I would still say India will also enjoy batting on this wicket. So yes, maybe we can see a few big scores from the Indian batters. But the key for India will be to put up partnerships, get someone to play an anchor role.
Yeah, Devashish, you know what just happened behind you is something that Snehashish and I have been facing throughout. You are talking to the camera and suddenly people are standing right behind you. In fact, Snehashish in Colombo got a little irritated and was like, "Do you want to say something? Do you want to talk to the camera? Do whatever, but at least give us some space." But Bharat, coming to you, you were talking about spinners. I will also take you a little to. Sorry, Devashish, please.
Talking about these Indian stadiums, there are jammers all across, and you have to walk quite a lot in order to get good
Yeah,
connectivity, and that has been the case. I am just almost a kilometer away from the stadium just to get good connectivity. Um,
it's
I
very tough. It's very tough. That's true. Bharat, as I was saying, you were talking about the spinners could have done differently. If I take you to Captain Pant, for example, I thought Pant removed Bumrah a little too quickly from the bowling in the first overs. He bowled a 3 over spell. I thought he could have easily bowled a 5 over spell because it's not hot and humid. It's a very very mild weather where pacers can bowl 5 overs at a stretch. You wanted that wicket early on. What did you think of Pant's captaincy today? Do you think any changes? Do you still see a very flat captaincy?
Yeah, I guess it comes down to gut feel. Maybe Asian captains generally tend to favor the spinners. They feel that the spinners will come into play very early on in the innings. But one has to remember that this is, if you, some may not like it, but this is a very slow track. So for a finger spinner or even a wrist spinner, whoever it is, to be effective, he has to really maybe impart a lot of reps on the ball, maybe try to beat the batsman in the air or on those lines. So yes, Bumrah could have been continued for a few more overs because the ball was still relatively new. So with a relatively new ball, you expect at least a little bit of movement, a hard seam. Maybe he could have nicked out a wicket or two, and that could have really helped India to kind of restrict South Africa to maybe around 350, 400. But yes, I guess it just came down to the fact that he had a gut feel that the spinners will do well on this pitch. But honestly, it turned out to be, I feel, a very, very slow track.
Devashish, you were there at the ground. That's why I'll ask the same question that I asked to Bharat. What do you reckon of Pant's captaincy and the field placings? At one point, I thought and this is completely my opinion, that I thought he went to a very one day kind of field placing, which did not like I did not think it was very attacking. I thought it was defensive. What did you make out of the captaincy?
Trisha, obviously, talking about Punch captains, I think he needs to be a little bit more patient. Means that is what challenges you as a captain, especially in subcontinent. You won't get your wicket easily, and this was an ideal day for Pant to perhaps learn a bit of the art of captaincy. Yeah, which I think he has earned. Clearly, he was a bit impatient. He was cracking some comment towards his fellow teammates. There was one incident where he walked up to Washington Sundar and tried to explain him. So clearly, a captain needs to be more stable and he needs to be more patient because in Indian conditions there will be times when wickets won't fall. There will be huge partnerships. You would see the game drift away from you. Therein lies the challenge of a captain. If you are to be a good captain, this was for us perfect. For us, the perfect example, perfect day for Pant. But I think he will learn. He will learn with more experience and more time. He will learn the art of captaincy. But clearly, he has been not that great impressive. But as you clearly say, using Bumrah or rather he could have put in more attacking fielders, rattle the South African batters. That has not been the case. So I think clearly the game has started drifting away from India. Yeah, obviously, the owners will now be on the batters how they perform tomorrow on day three.
Absolutely. Bharat, 489, do you think it is a little too much? The wicket is slowing down and Shubman Gill is not there. How much of a factor will that play as well?
Yes, I still feel on day three the wicket should be good for batting. But this is a strange kind of wicket where you may not be able to score runs very quickly, at least until you are in a strong position. South Africa got into a strong position, then Marco Jensen cracked all those strokes. But until then, they were also finding it a little difficult. But if you are able to play in a patient manner, if you're able to just keep defending, then it is also difficult for a spinner to get you out. So that kind of a wicket it is. So I guess it comes down to whether Indian batters have that kind of what can you say willpower to stay at the crease for long enough, and that I think will help the Indian team to at least get a good score on the board and maybe put the pressure back on the South African batters. But it has to be also said that India still have enough left-handers in their lineup. So someone like Simon Harbour will fancy his chances because I think he's at the peak of his prowess. The way he's bowling with his side spin, sometimes he's slowing it up, sometimes it feels like he's deliberately not trying to spin the ball, a little less spin, and sometimes he's trying to bowl a little bit of overspin. So he's at the peak of his prowess and he will definitely fancy his chances. Yeah, Shuman Gill will definitely be missed with his experience. But India still have a capable batting lineup. Just that I fear that with all these left-handers, Simon Harmer will definitely fancy his chances of picking up a few wickets.
Devashish, this is what I was coming to you with. Not only Simon Harmer, South Africa actually will unleash three spinners on Indians: Simon Harmer, Keshav Maharaj, and Muthuswamy as well. And remember, Muthuswamy after that century will have his tails absolutely up and will be confident. And also that other factor plays, right? Devashish, that when you have spent so much time at the wicket, you as a bowler, when you come out to bowl, it helps you because you have understood the wicket, you know how the wicket will work. How dangerous will be this trio of spinners for Indian batters? And one more question, sorry, it's a two-part question: how much pressure do you think it will be on KL Rahul, especially without Shubman Gill in the ranks?
Lisa, let me just answer your second part. Obviously, pressure will be immense. Pressure will be immense because they actually South Africa has posted a huge total. So, and remember, India are trailing 0-1, and KL Rahul and Yashasvi both haven't. Though KL Rahul looked good at Eden Gardens in that first innings, but he got a piece of a delivery that. But I would still feel that there is no such demon on this wicket, day three wicket. If they can bat well, I think there are runs for the taking. There are runs for the taking. All they have to do is to applied themselves, and Yashasvi Jaiswal has scored 100. He has scored daddy 100, he has scored double 100. Yes, KL Rahul has scored 100. So I think, but the onus will be on the openers. They need to give India a good start, so the middle order can capitalize. The key will be to play out that first session without losing a wicket, as was the case today. South Africa lost one wicket only, and then in the second session, I think they went wicketless. Trisha, second session, Bharat, South Africa went wicketless today post tea.
Second session,
I
I
am not
think they
looking at that.
still lost maybe first tee. I think they lost one wicket, right? Yeah, Muthusamy, a couple of wickets somewhere.
They lost
Yesterday
one.
they just lost one
Yeah,
wicket.
yeah.
One wicket? Okay.
Comparing
So
very
that
much.
will be the key. See, you cannot afford to lose wicket. And as far as South African spinners, as Bharat always technically analyzes, Trisha, you were a bowler yourself, so I would rather ask both of you how how crucial will be the pace at which the spinners bowl, given that the wicket is very slow to trouble the batters. Obviously, if they can play, and key will be footwork. In this case, if you look at Muthuswamy or someone like Tristan Star, Marco Janssen, they were using their feet, and so clearly, I think the I'm kicked out. Suddenly, I'm kicked out.
Continue, continue. Muthuswamy, sorry, Marco Janssen was
That is,
using
yeah,
his, yeah.
yeah, I was asking to both of you, how crucial will it be for the spinners to bowl at a pace? Because as you could see that the wicket is playing very slow. For them to trouble the Indian batters, do you reckon that speed will be very important for all the three South African spin bowlers?
Uh, I'll answer a bit of it and then the expert analyst can take it.
Yeah.
I think yes, Devashisa, you're absolutely correct. It will be extremely important. If I was there, I would bowl it slower. I would actually force the batters to bring in all the pace if they want to score runs. Have the attacking fields, but also I would change the pace, surprise the batters a little. Most importantly, though, I think they will be bowling longish spells. There isn't a lot of turn in the track, so they have to be patient, have men around the bat, and just keep bowling in one area. But also, yes, not give as a bowler, I would not give them any pace to play with because the pitch is anyway slow. I'll make it slower and harder for the batters. This is completely from a bowler's angle. Bharat, now you take it, all yours.
I think you have said whatever I wanted to say, so not much to add to that. I'll just tell that maybe certain spinners, when they try to bowl slow through the air, they don't get that kind of drift. So I think that is where it comes down to maybe today at least. I'm not saying Kuldeep Yadav doesn't get drift because he's done it in the past, but somewhere today when he tried to slow it up, it didn't seem as if he was imparting enough reps on the ball. It was just coming slow through the air, and that might go against to then easily. It is easy for someone like Marco Jensen to just come down the track and with these long levers to come down the track and loft a lot of shots. So yes, slow it up, but I guess it also comes down to facilities. Someone like Simon Harbour has done that in the past. Yes, at times you can say that it's not easy. A bowler himself can't tell that whether the ball will go straight on or whether it will turn a little bit. But there are times when perhaps with slightly different grips, the spin bowler can ensure that it turns a little less. Sometimes maybe it turns a little more. So this sort of subtleties you would want to see maybe look at using the crease. I think modern day spinners don't do that. Someone like even Ravindra Jadeja, a very experienced spinner, I understand that. But if you look at how he bowled today or how he bowled in England, it strike keeps darting it at 95 kilometers per hour, 96 kilometers per hour. It doesn't use the crease much, going wide of the crease, coming closer to the stumps, slightly closer to the stumps. So I think modern day spinners don't do that. Hopefully, from South Africa's perspective, at least, the two experienced spinners will do that.
Okay, let's move on to some of the comments. Devashish, the Amog Ghare is saying bad pitch or bad bowling.
very interesting. I would say bad bowling. I would say bad bowling because see, um, I think day one and day two normally is the best day to bat on in subcontinent. Let's face the fact. And I would say literally, Pant had no plan B. Means when someone like a Marco Jensen going all guns blazing, you cannot let him go. Means obviously, I think the approach, some of the field placements could have been more aggressive. Um, uh, and clearly, I think India were found wanting as far as the aggressive mode is concerned. So clearly, I would say, yeah, I'm not saying that it's a perfect wicket for a test match, but clearly not what we witnessed at Eden Garden. Clearly, the day one, day two normally is the best conditions to bat on, and then from day
Yeah.
three onwards, you will see spin taking effect. So I clearly see 246. Richard, you tell me 246 for three. You did so well. The bowlers brought you back into the game after day one. 246 for those 4 wickets, and then you allowed the three I won't say lower order batters. They are quite decent batters. Muthuswamy or
Hmm.
Varane, so they are all very good batters. But you 246 for six and 489 all out. So that is clearly not acceptable. And you are playing at your own backyard. So clearly, uh, someone that who should be questioned is the bowling coach Bobby Morgan. His role, what actually he does with the bowler. There will be days when you won't get wicket, but there you also need to think about a plan B or a plan C. You need to send the messages to the players out there in the middle. But I don't think that was the case. It was a bit disappointing. Disappointing to see 246. We were all in fact discussing in the pre-day live whether India can bundle out South Africa below 300. So that was obviously we were
Correct.
expecting too much from the Indian bowlers. Suddenly, what happened to them is a question that needs to be asked. And I think Bobby Morkel would be the right person. What happened to the bowlers? None of them. None. It's not that I am not saying that they were not trying, but somehow or other they couldn't pick those wickets to give those breakthroughs. And in fact, Verane, if you see, he threw away that wicket. He got stumped, getting stumped in a test match. I
Correct.
think he threw away his wicket. Marco Jansen could have easily got his hundreds. Look at the disappointment of Marco Jansen once he was going back.
Yeah.
He himself couldn't believe. So, a very disappointing day for the bowlers. That is how I would describe.
Sports fan says 1-0 or 2-0. India have already lost the series. Sad state of affairs for India Test cricket. Bharat, I don't think India has lost this match per se, but also if you look at it now with South Africa scoring 489 and end of day two, you have only got 9 runs. So ideally, you have to make a match of it. You at least have to score 480 more runs, and then they will have a second innings. We will have a second innings. This can go to a draw, likely draw, and if it goes to a likely draw, or one of the two batting sides have to collapse for a result to happen, India seems to be in complete back foot right now.
Yeah, you also have to consider the bad light. Bad light will come into play in those places. Definitely, I think even on day three, day four, and day five, I expect at least some overs won't be bowled because of bad light, and that also could really go against in the Indian team. And the other problem is as the pitch is very slow, I don't think it's so easy to just play at a good scoring rate, score at a maybe 4 runs per over, 5 runs per over. I don't think it is that easy on that pitch. Is a kind of strange wicket where you may not get out, but it's also not so easy to score runs at a very quick rate. So that is where I think again it goes against the Indian team. So first of all, they have to get to I think 550. If they get to 550, then they can put the pressure right back on the South African team. But at the present moment, South Africa definitely would be thinking that we have at least one hand on the Freedom Trophy, and we can repeat what our predecessors did it in 2000 in terms of winning the series, if not 2-0.
Well said. Aryan Shah says, hi Trishadi, hi Aryan. Shomodip Basu Malik. Oh, okay. Don't send trash comments. I'm not going to take it. Okay. Next. Krishna Kumar. Zero intent by India bowlers. It is a draw or essay victory. India is a B team. दो खराब मैचेस से कोई B team नहीं बन जाता है. What is NK? This is a very interesting question, Devashishda. What is Nitish Kumar Reddy's role in India 11? Is he the best right-handed batter in the entire country? No. The second is no for sure. But yeah, I'm interested in knowing the first part. What do you think, Devashishda, is the clear role of NKR? What has he been told by the management that this is your role in the team?
Yes, you have hit the nail on the head. Means what is his role? He bowled 4 overs initially, and then towards today also he bowled a couple of overs if I'm not wrong. So uh, clearly it's baffling. You play him as an all rounder and give him only 6 or 7 overs. So clearly the captain himself has not doesn't have the confidence. So and if you are the top seven batters cannot score, what is the problem? Do you reckon that the top eight batter will win you matches? If your top seven cannot score, is there a need to play an extra batter? I would rather love to have a bowler, a bowler who could get you those wickets, because after all, it is about taking 20 wickets to win a test match. So clearly, Nitish Kumar Reddy, ideally, in Sena countries, definitely yes. But in subcontinent, to play a Nitish Reddy, in fact, I would have rather hoped that and someone he replaced Akshar Patel. Akshar Patel would have been handy at the hindsight. I would say. But Nitish Reddy, yes, I don't know what exactly was the game plan for playing Nitish Kumar Reddy.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. Okay, Bharat, this is for you. Peking Awesome says, after a while, we are playing on a traditional Indian wicket. It's good to see. But if they prepare sporting wickets, 300, 350 kind of wicket, it attracts more viewers. A good advertisement for tests. Oh, okay, sorry. There was no question. It was a statement. We'll go to the next one. Uh, Pamula Harinath says India 800 for 3 declared. For that, India has to bat for 3 days. And Rahul 200, Pant 200, Rahul 200. There aren't two Rahuls. There
By
is only one
200.
Rahul.
By 200. Rahul 402.
Okay.
Rahul 402 and Jaiswal 303. Record broken. Lara's record broken.
Record broken. Bus done. Suman Avasti says our bowlers bowl most clueless when pitch is flat and team management lacks creativity. And if our batting struggles on this pitch, especially against spin, then we need serious introspection. Bharat, should I
No, I
read the
go back.
question again?
Yeah, fine. It's fine. I go back to that same point. See, if I have something against the Indian spinners on these flat pitches, you have to slow it up a little bit. You have to impart a little more reps on the ball. If you look at someone like Jadeja Jadeja, yes, this is a great test cricketer. I understand that. I salute to all his accomplishment. But on this kind of wickets, if you just dart it at 95 kilometers per hour, 96 kilometers per hour, you won't extract straight from the wicket. You have to impart a little more reps. You have to flight the ball a little more, vary your pace a little bit, and that is how you can get a few wickets. I'm even saying something similar about Washington Sundar. If you look at his pace, it was mostly around 91 kilometers per hour, 92, 93, 94 kilometers per hour. Yes, I understand that in the DRS era, in modern times, you are looking for turn at pace, but this is not that kind of a wicket. You have to make things happen, and that is where I think I had a problem with the Indian spinners. And yes, pace bowlers maintained their energy levels reasonably well. I don't think they had much going for them on these wickets, at least in the first 2 days, barring maybe the first 30, 45 minutes when there was a little bit of freshness in the wickets, maybe a little bit of moisture. Because today I saw when Siraj tried to bowl a bumper, he had to bowl basically on his side, on his in his half. He had to bowl it that much short. He had to bowl to get it high up. So they didn't have much going for them. But I think the Indian spinners could have bowled better or experimented a little more.
Devashish, though, before I let you go, because in half an hour we'll be back with 5 at 5, of course. And I have to let Devashish go because he has walked almost 2 kilometers to get a little bit of internet. Devashish, how is the turnout? And this I'm asking because you and I both were there in England, right? We saw day after day a number of people turning up. It was almost full crowd every single day. What is Guwahati crowd offering? How much is the support? What's happening before we end the show? Please tell us about that.
Yeah, yeah. As was expected yesterday, it was a very, very good turnout on a Sunday. Yeah, 22 odd thousand people were there in the stands, and it was, and everyone was expecting India to bat on, with the expectation that India will bat today. But that was not the case. Even the final hour, getting towards Yashasvi and KL Rahul, that would perhaps be the biggest disappointment for the fans here in Guwahati. But the turnout for first 2 days, considering that it is the first time a test match has been played at this venue, I would say it was decent. It was decent. I was told that there were there were a full house for the Women's World Cup inauguration, but in India's first match as well. So clearly the fans. But if you ask me, sir, I would again go back to that Virat Kohli comment. You cannot have so many test centers. You cannot have so many test centers with the
I agree.
amount of, see, that amount of
I,
time being wasted in this park.
uh,
In this park,
Agreed.
in during winter, you cannot stage a test match. So clearly with 2 days we have lost enough overs. So this is something that BCCI needs to think upon. Timing of the test matches at a particular venue. Means it cannot be sheer about rotation. Means you can give a test match. Obviously, if it is a summer, you can. But clearly, winter is having staging a test match here. You are wasting too much time. Too many over. And what happens to the fans who have brought tickets? They are also being let down. And the fans have brought in tickets to watch a full 90 days play. And what happened in
Correct.
England? We witnessed all 90 days, all five test matches. Every day it was a 90-day play, 90 days play. So something to ponder upon. But I am expecting not a crowd like today, but there will be decent crowd, especially with India batting.
Thank you so much, Devashish Sen and Bharat Ramraj, for joining me for this post mortem of day two. We will be coming back. In BCCI needs to think about test venues. Indian management needs to think about what should be their game plan now, and the three of us need to think about what can be the title, thumbnail for 5 at 5, and be back for 5 at 5. Thank you so much. Keep joining, like, share, and subscribe because you will get all the sporting action only in their sports. Thank you.